Welcome, everybody, to our last elevation call of July, the 28th, and we're excited to see you guys. I had a kind of a significant happening that I wanted to share with you. Some of you guys know it, but I've been in the hemp space for 7 years and had my first published column where they actually printed everything I wrote about hemp CBD and the project that we've been working on now for some of us for 7 years. And it was, you guys know the battle. It's been a significant challenge to feel like you have a voice. It's been a challenge to talk to health professionals, to educate individuals. It's been a challenge for people to understand what's marijuana, what's hemp, what's medical cannabis, what's hemp. And so it was just something I've wanted to do for a long time. And if you want me to send you a little digital copy, I'd be more than happy to. But the information is out there for sure, but just to be able to, in Arkansas, we've had such challenges of being able to get this information out that it was kind of a significant thing. I have a little bi-monthly, I guess, no, it's every 2 weeks. So it's bi-weekly column in the Washington County Enterprise Leader, which is a very small little newspaper here in Northwest Arkansas. But nonetheless, it's just, it's exciting to feel like for some reason, people sometimes think differently when they see it in print. And, sometimes just like a reel, Dr. Todd had a great reel. And if people don't see things multiple times, they don't always believe it. And so if you want that article, you're more than welcome to. Dr. Todd has a great, at least I saw one of his reels that was really on kind of melatonin and the value of melatonin in sleep, which was phenomenal. So those things really do help, especially when we're talking about products. But I wanted to kind of share that with you guys just because it's been, it just happened this week and I was excited. I usually just have the little newspaper. It's like, it's a little paper, small little paper, but I did find the digital copy. So I'll share that with you guys if you want it. And I'm going to go ahead and just really quickly recap the US enrollments because Kayla is on the line. She is number 8 this month so far at the end of the month. Nice job, Kayla. And her one of her downline, Dr. Robert Fetro, is actually number 5 because of the work she's helping him with. So Dr. Fetro is actually a new associate. And so shout out to Kayla. And I've not met him, but I look forward to that. Number 4, leading by example, is Steve and Jenny Todd. So shout out to you guys for just the consistent work you do. Number 2, Hal and I are holding on, at least in the US. We hit global. We drop significantly because Latin America is rocking and rolling. And then with regard to volume, number 18, Wright Parkway Dental in Florida, which is on Steve and Jenny's team. So shout out to all of you guys for the work you're doing. We are going to talk about why we really are starting to see some significant changes in volume and enrollments just because of what has happened. It started on Monday and of last week, and we're going to go over that. But before we do, I wanted to give you an opportunity to share with me a question I have. And that question is, who is your favorite hero and why? What is it? What qualities do they embody that make you want to share that they're hero status to you? And I follow a guy named Brian Johnson, and it was really his question. I find that if I can listen to a podcast or use the commute time that I have every day on the phone, that it just really helps to grow me as an individual, and it helps me be less aware of that kind of commute time. So Brian Johnson has a daily, what he calls a +1, and I find that it's the best source of wisdom that I've found in one spot. And so he was sharing some of his favorite heroes and even interviewing one of his mentors and found out some of their favorite heroes. And so I wanted to ask you guys, does anybody want to share a favorite hero with us?
I'll do one.
Let's hear it.
In the interest of the Olympics, right now, one of my heroes would be Simone Biles, because she had a demon that most people will, poo-poo. but really in this business, we know that sometimes the hardest thing to get over with is the 6 inches between our ears. And that's what she fought. And even though she had the physical skills, which we all have the physical skills to do this business, but it's the mental demon that keeps us from doing it so many times. So really watching her in the Olympics now is really kind of cool to see how she overcame the mental demons, even though she had the physical capability all the time. So
That's a great example, Susan. And have you followed her yet? Have you seen her perform or had the gymnastics happen yet?
Yeah, they're doing the qualifying and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, so I watched her on the beam a while ago, which was like the big thing that stopped her last Olympics.
Wow.
So that was a good thing.
That's a great point. It's a great analogy. Thank you for that. Anybody else have a hero or two that they would like to share?
Well, I'll share, Lisa.
Thank you, Jenny.
You know, there's so many heroes, but just the first thing, not having heard your question, the first thing that popped into my mind is my hero is Steve. He is always, and I love him, I've loved him since I was 15, but he always has such a positive attitude. He never criticizes. He's always encouraging. He's always there. Just loves people, and I want to be like him. So
Oh, that brings tears to my eyes. Like that's a very beautiful thing. And I would totally agree with you that Steve is a leader by example. But how beautiful to say that about your spouse of how many years, Jenny?
well, this November it will be 47.
47 years.
Yeah.
Dang, man. And you guys look like you're 50. So you got married when you were 3. Kind of impressive. Thank you for sharing that. Anybody else want to share about who your hero or heroes are?
I would.
Let's hear it, Judy.
Okay, I've got 2. My mom and my sister. My mom she finished her high school education after she had us kids. She went back and got her GED. And yet she single-handedly managed my dad's business and made sure that they stayed in the black. And she built a life and just, moved up to Illinois from Arkansas in an environment that was a very closed community. If you weren't a 3rd generation Englishman, then you just really didn't belong. And yet she made a niche for herself, and just, the things that she did and the way people talked about her, that, getting to know her might not be the easiest thing, but once she was your friend for life, reliable and that kind of thing. And then my sister, she does so much that nobody knows about and just takes it on the chin and goes on. And she is so supportive of me, and she is so encouraging, and she notices things that I think, oh, that, and yet she'll notice it and make me feel like I'm, wow. So I just admire her and mom, and they've got big shoes to try and fill. So yeah, they're my heroes.
How beautiful is that to have your heroes within your household? And I do love your sister as well, and she's one of my heroes. So I get it, man, for sure. Thank you for sharing that, Judy. Anybody else? We have time for one more.
I'll do one for you, Lisa.
Awesome, Carlita.
Hello.
Hey, girl.
So my daughter was my firstborn, and she was born on one of the remarkable days of Nolan Ryan's career. My dad and I, that was one of the things that we shared that was very special, was our love of baseball. So my daughter is named Ashlyn Ryan after Nolan Ryan.
Isn't that interesting? And I'm not sure if everybody knows Carlita, but she is new to our Northwest Arkansas team, and she has a really powerful. Carlita, would you mind? I know you've said it before, but just really briefly tell us why Zilis for you, because not everybody has met you.
Okay. Well, I was introduced to Zilis by Barbara, my friend, and After trying it for several days, I realized that my daily headaches that I've had most of my life, I wasn't having a headache. It was like, what's going on? I don't have this daily headache that I have to take Advil for or whatever. And that was the first thing I noticed. Another really weird thing I noticed, I was taking Glow and Shield. That was the two things I started out with. I've always been just addicted to Dr. Pepper and occasionally Mountain Dew. And all of a sudden, I just didn't want that. I just wanted water or tea or juice, something less harmful for my body. And I just feel like it filled some need that my body had all these years that I'd never been getting. And Zilis has filled that for me. So I'm grateful for that and pain relief and other benefits.
And tell us, Carlita, what is your background? What do you do?
I'm an old ER nurse with bad hips and a bad back, and I now work for the VA and do work with our veterans, getting them care in the community.
Well, I love your story, and thank you for sharing that.
Thanks.
Very well done. And it kind of is a great segue into kind of what I wanted to share with you guys about heroes, because what Brian Johnson shared, his mentor's hero is a lady that many of you guys have studied in history named Harriet Tubman. Does anybody know who Harriet Tubman is? And her willingness to cross the Mason-Dixon line 13 times after escaping slavery to free as many members of her family and community as she could is what inspired her mentor to have her as a hero. And as I started contemplating, and I can actually send you guys, it's kind of a 25-minute deeper dive into leadership, but her example of helping deliver people from slavery, not to kind of build up what we do or deflate what she's done, but really made me think of the prison that we find so many people in. And Carlita, you're a great example. Daily headaches, feeling like you're addicted to soft drinks. You know, I can look at all of us have had some story of relief from either misery. And in my case, you know, we started generating very significant income on the very first wave in Indiana. And so that was a different kind of freedom from a prison for me, working 3 jobs. And that is really kind of what made me think about, you know, we all have the ability to be heroes by bringing Zilis to people. And, you know, each of you, Carlita talked about Barbara, her friend, who very courageously shared the story of Zilis and the products of Zilis with Carlita. All of you guys have been very instrumental in that. And that's kind of why we share the leaderboard, is who is out there, whether they feel like it or not, whether they feel successful or not, and whether somebody is their 12th time that they've tried to talk to them or their first time, they're out there continuing to spend energy and effort to get this message out. And that really does inspire me. And it also made me start thinking a little bit about what has happened over the last couple of weeks that have really helped us all increase our engagement, our hope, and also the ability to get paid in what we do. And here's Hal Henson. Hey, Hal.
Hey.
And that is really about the generational bonus and the cash bonuses that are back. And I want to officially say Zoom Wave, because this was taken April 2nd, kind of a court order. And I don't know if we want to go into what happened at all. Like, why did they reinstate the promotions? Can
Yeah,
you
sure.
comment on that?
If folks don't know, I'll be glad to. So, hello, everybody. I miss y'all. Um, with the new corporate team, especially with Bo Short and Christy Klinger, they have a lot of experience in direct selling industry. And as y'all have heard probably from Bo many times, our product line is just phenomenal. Like, he's never seen anything like it. And he has been not only in the direct selling industry, he has owned companies and like been the top guy in so many. And for him, pretty much for free to be working with Zilis, it's because of what he sees the potential of our products. And if they could tweak the business model, which they needed to do from Steven's ownership and the things he set up, and make it more profitable for ambassadors, that we have something very special. So Bo and Christy didn't have a lot to do with our products. Those were already great. They just kept advancing them. What they did was tried to, in a legal way, tweak the compensation plan for us. And when Stephen saw that the company was growing again because they were paying us better, not growing fast, but the trajectory was up. Unfortunately, I can tell you, if this is just my perspective, I feel like Stephen didn't want that to happen as he was exiting the company. And so he put a halt to it, him as attorneys, on April the 2nd. And so literally our corporate team, as well as some of us leaders, have been behind the scenes trying to get the court to recognize that the greatest asset of the company is, one, the products, and two, the people that are carrying the message. And they both have to be taken care of. And so they saw that that wasn't happening. And so finally, 2 weeks ago tomorrow, the court, one particular person in the court system decided to allow us to go back to the way that the new team was paying us. And so that's simply what they did last 2 weeks. And so what that means is that for the same actions that we were being paid a certain amount for, we're now getting paid more for. So, which is wonderful. And that means enrollments, building teams, reaching goals. We get paid more. And I would say more appropriately, not only more money, but more appropriately from the way it was before. And so with that being reinstated, not entirely officially, because that probably won't settle out in the courts for a few more months, but what we have the opportunity is to earn again more appropriately and more money, but also to show the courts that it's meaningful that we get paid more for doing the work. And so if we will take advantage of that, one, we will earn money, but two, we will show the courts that our leadership team now is correct, that with being compensated for these things that we do to improve other people's lives, introduce products and the opportunity to them, and us getting paid more for it, that the company starts growing again. So hopefully that trajectory will turn back up, because from April 2nd till 2 weeks ago, it turned sharply down. Enrollments went sharply down. Activity went sharply down. Our pay went sharply down. And so hopefully, and we enrolled a bronze today for ourselves personally. Other people are getting back more engaged, and we'll get paid more for that activity. So,
and not just,
that was a long answer.
that was a good answer, and not just that, but we actually have we're going back to the enrollment kits that were so much more favorable, because they're on the tear sheet. I don't know if you guys remember the tear sheet, and well, I just kind of marked it out. But so now the gold is $9.99 instead of $12.99. Silver is $4.99 instead of $6.99. Bronze $2.99 instead of $3.99. And a wholesale customer, who knows how much that is?
$9.99. 99. 99.
99. That's right, Judy Baker. 99 bucks.
So the company's actually taken the pricing down, where all the cost of everything else in the world has gone way up. Our leadership team said, let's give people an opportunity to get this product at a lesser price, where the rest of the world's going up, and let's make it more affordable for them to build business. And so, I'm shocked that they were able to do it, but they've been able to do it, and I'm very grateful for that. And now they've brought it back to us. So, some of you that are fairly new and hadn't been riding this roller coaster as long as a few of us have, you may not appreciate how excited we are. Yeah. But we're excited for ourselves, for you, and really for the people of the future. So
absolutely. And so I wanted to kind of two things, kind of what I consider to be some of the details of this. I want you to understand why the generational bonus matters, and why is this double and triple generational bonus? Why is that something that has made such a big difference for us? And in order to understand that, you've got to understand a little bit about your back office. So if you have something to write with, I want you to write reports and then my earnings. That my earnings report, you can actually go in, and you might have not even gotten a check yet. I mean, and that's okay. But if you have gotten a check at all, what you'll see is that there's two ways that we get paid as you build this asset of Zilis. The first way is as you bring people in, enrollments. That is paid through binary pay. Right now, if you enrolled a gold, how much do you earn? Who knows? 300, Jenny, is that what you said? So the $9.99 that when you enroll a gold, you actually get paid $300 of a fast start bonus.
We used to get
Paid
paid
for the bonus.
$130,
Right.
and
So
the cost of the kit was $12.99. So again, I just want to reiterate, they dropped the price of the gold package to $9.99, and they upped the payment from $130 on this binary pay to $300 in this promotional period. So the same activity pays more, and they've made it easier because it's more affordable for our new ambassadors.
right. And so that little chunk of money that you get paid when you enroll somebody, next month when they start their auto ship, you get paid in what's called generational bonus. Anything that's not enrollments, that's a recurrent or just a one-time order or cases, anything that's not enrollment from somebody that you already have is actually part of your generational volume. And so there's a number under your My Earnings that's going to show you a reflection, a percentage of that growing piece of your business. Some of you guys might feel like it's not actually growing, but now we're going to start seeing the growth again. So initially you start with binary payout, and as you transition people to auto ships, and as that auto ship grows, as your team grows, then you're going to be paid more and more with that generational bonus. And so what they're saying right now, there's two ways to get a generational bonus. If you enroll $198 in new volume, which is 2 wholesale customers, and you grow your volume, your overall volume from June 5%, you get a double generational bonus. And then if you can grow your volume from June 10% and do $499 in new sales, it's dollars, not volume, then you can get a triple generational bonus. And that can be a very significant amount of money because there's also something called the bonus blitz. So that if you do the $198 in new sales, you get an extra $50. And if you do the $499, you get an extra $150. And these are the kind of promotions that make your eyes roll behind your head, but actually really it pays us to know where the dollars are. It pays us to know where your volume is and how we can help you increase that 5 or 10% in order to get paid over time. That number is going to grow. And so the generational bonuses are very significant ways to keep an eye on what are they rewarding. And Hal and I learned over the course of these promotions is the $499 was a big number. That is really the benchmark.
Yeah. So the $499 is new volume for the entire month. Can be a collection of basically 5 wholesale new wholesale customers. It could be a $499 silver, just one. Obviously, it could be a gold because that's more than that, or some combination of that. But the whole point is that the company has to grow through new enrollments. That's the way this business is, and it's the new enrollments that come as a result of our sharing and your new people who want to be sharers and builders through theirs. And so, they've incentivized. The products should be enough incentive, right? I mean, you would think so. If we really want to see people's lives changed, even if they don't want to hear it, or even if they want to compare it to marijuana, or they want to say we're crazy and all that kind of thing, we've seen enough of people's lives change that it's worth it for us to continue to go through all that stuff. But besides that, for us who really want to earn it, generate income, and help other people do the same thing, that's what they've improved so much, is the multiple ways that we get paid. The products have been consistent as far as their quality across the board. Sure, there's been some blippy product issues with droppers and things like that. but the compensation plan has been up and down and all around. And with the new team, they have truly made the compensation plan now, I think, comparable to the quality of our products. And they've added so much to it that, I think people were just not really aware because we've kind of been in neutral for so long that we don't understand what they're giving back to us can truly be a boost once it connects with our brain and it connects with our butts and gets us back into gear, you might say.
Yeah. And so while you have something to write with, many of you guys already know what I'm going to share with you, but what I did is I got a little, because I got to work every day. And so I have to keep all my Zilis stuff and just, something that I can throw in my backpack. So what happened today, we had a meeting over lunch with prospects, and we used the US tear sheet, which is under the enrollment pack flyers, under resources in the back office.
It's just a two-sided sheet that you can tear off. So
we just printed out a black and white one. Hal went over that with them.
And how long did it take?
I mean, just 10 minutes.
10 minutes, and that was with a phone call interruption that they had to take because they have a family member in hospice. So probably in 10 minutes after we just discussed the science and the products and Lisa dosed them. And this is someone that I've known for 2.5 years. And he's a veteran and kind of pushed back against the CBD thing. But now his life circumstances are that he's in enough pain and can't do his job that they're ready to listen. So they had lunch with us today.
Our first conversation with him was my first conversation with him was in January. And I was looking back on my texts, and he was fine because he was using gummies. I don't know if you guys have ever heard that from anyone before, but he came back to us and said, man, if I'd been doing this since January, I'd probably be in better shape now.
Yes, he would.
So number one, in my opinion, our number one aid, job aid, sales aid is the US tear sheet. So you want to make sure that whether you want to use a color
So here's what I want to say. Let's give a thumbs up if you already have them or you're planning on getting the tear sheets. Let me see thumbs up.
Jenny, look at you.
If you don't have them and you're not, and you're going to get some, give me a thumbs up across the board. Okay. All right. Good job, everybody. Okay.
And I just printed one out in black and white, so you don't have to have anything fancy for sure. But the other thing that we used that they found helpful when we were talking about, yes,
Lisa.
Yes, Kayla.
If the tear sheet, it came out before they got everything back on as far as the generational bonus. So the tear sheet is applicable to what our current information is, I take it.
So yes, they don't have the details of the generational bonuses and those kind of things, but they do have the new enrollment kit information. So everything's up to date.
The basic principles, which these people really appreciated the basics.
Is Vibe on there also, I guess?
Yes.
It's in the picture of products, yes.
Yeah, in fact, it's kind of cool because they have some great options. They have great kits. In fact, Hal told me today that the bronze kit has Vibe and topical for $2.99. That's really ultimately what we recommended for the gentleman who had neuropathy and all sorts of pain issues. And so, and because Vibe's 30 mils, they could actually share that. It was, the smallest business builder kit, but the US tear sheet doesn't go into the details, but there is a US enrollment pack flyer that does. And so I would print out both of those in black and white. And then I also use the US Ambassador Agreement, which is under applications and resources. And it's 4 pages. You don't need them all, but it just gives you a little packet of information to sit in front of somebody. It's Kathy, it's the US tear, TEAR sheet.
And so if you just imagine a tear sheet, this is a stack of 25 pieces of paper that are printed on front and back. And what it does is to introduce the concepts of our business model, the company, some of the products just in basic. Let me see it. You got it right there.
Yeah.
So it's just really simple, guys. We've been asking this for a long time. And so, so we're empowering. Well, here it is right here. So it just gives a basic overview of the company, that we're a worldwide industrial leader, so forth. And then it has an introduction to a few of the products. We barely touched on this, barely touched on it. And then we talk about healthy pet support. That's where we start with. Kayla, you appreciate that. And others. Sleep support, cellular balance, which is what we taught them about the endocannabinoid system. It's what it is, homeostasis, focus and clarity, and then weight management. Just touches on those things. That's it. And then you turn it over and say you can work, as far as business building, work from anywhere, healthcare bonuses, Jeep bonuses, work-life balance, just touches on that. And then right here, it's really important. I always emphasize this part. So we say the company does their part with products, with back office support, with distribution, with compensation. That's their role. Over here, you have people like Lisa and I who will help mentor you, teach you how we train, and so forth. And then here's your part where you bring your ambition, your goals, your willingness to learn, and then your network of people. That's super important. And then you move from there. If you're ready to get started, let's go with the gold kit. If you're really ready to go all the way down to the ambassador, the VIP. And this couple of days, it made most sense for them to go with the bronze package. They weren't ready to get a gold kit because they said, like so many do, we want to try your product before we want to build the business with it because we have no experience with your product. But they got enough of it to in the bronze package to get them started. And that took 10 minutes, guys. I literally went over it with you in 2 minutes. And then when we left, she goes, "Can I have a copy of that?" And we just gave her what I had taught them with, and she took it home. So, and it was torn out of a package of 25.
Yes, or you can just print it out one
Or you
at a
could print
time.
it, or you
That's
could
what I
print
did.
it out yourself. Yes.
So it's just impressive that I believe the business has gotten simpler. I don't show anybody anything on a computer. I use the tear sheet for everything I do, literally. And you can send it digitally. You can print it out in black and white. You can print it in color. You can laminate it, however you want to do it. But nobody has time to listen to a whole PowerPoint. And so it's been a great kind of modification, if you will, a way to talk to people. And let's see.
And if you wanted to, you could go to your back office, pull it up and share screen. If you wanted to do a Zoom presentation, you could use the tear sheet points to make a quick presentation too on Zoom, right?
Yes, absolutely. And so in the back office, just as a repeat, the 3 priority sheets. Number 1 is the US tear sheet,
I
TEAR.
just showed it to you.
Number 2, the US enrollment pack flyer,
That's this one here.
the one that has all the enrollment packs and what the options are. And then number 3, it's the US ambassador agreement, which is what I just hand somebody to fill out
So, or you fill it out
for them.
for them as you're sitting with them. So it's what we used originally to sign people up. Many of you weren't experienced it. We did it on paper. But we've always encouraged our team, if you've got someone you're presenting to online, you're on the computer or even face to face, you don't pull up your computer and go in and try to sign them up on your computer. I mean, there's been too many glitches on that. It slows down the process. Get their information, write it down on the paper in case there is a glitch, and then you plug in the information. Then you have that printed document, which you could give to them. Okay. So it cuts out the glitchiness of our computers, and it has a written record that you can work with in the back office.
So that hopefully that makes sense. And the only other thing that I really I use it all the time is the wholesale price sheet. And that one is really under US price lists in the back office. And I highly recommend that you print that out. I've had probably, 30 different iterations of that, but it's helpful because there's multiple prices for each Zilis product. We all kind of use the wholesale price for one unit, but there's also the minimum retail price, the maximum retail price. And then there's another price of case quantity. And as you buy more cases, you can actually buy down the price. So you want to make sure that you understand the price list. And for somebody who is like a Dr. Stephen Todd, for somebody who owns a business that has maybe a particular fit with a product, whether there's, a vet, a salon owner or something like that, they can buy multiple cases of product and capture up to 200% of a retail margin. So it's really important to, you must understand our pricing if you want to be in this business long term. And the promotion is, there is nothing for sure beyond July 31st. I always tell people I cannot guarantee them what's going to happen next month. Everything is done by promotions. It is mandated by the court because we can't make changes in the compensation plan and we can't hire and fire until Angie officially owns the company. So that's that. Any questions at all on those documents that we referred to?
That third sheet again.
Yeah, the third sheet that I referred to is the U.S. Ambassador Agreement. It's really just, we call it the application form.
Okay.
And it's 4 pages. I don't really keep real official records with that, but I do have one just because it answers a lot of questions, you know, just as you're enrolling people. What I typically do is go, hey, it will take me 2 minutes to get your information. And I kind of am their secretary, if you will. I write it down on, a lot of times I'll write it on an application, but I don't let them do it. I don't let them enroll themselves online because typically it doesn't really happen. So that application form is important just to have on hand. When we do a formal meeting, we give every guest an application as a way to close out the meeting. So you definitely want to know where those are. Good question, Judy. Anything else? Okay,
Kelly,
heroes.
Wholesale,
Yes.
on the wholesale listing, it doesn't give you the discounts per case, per bottle or per jar. So I usually pencil it in just so I can give an example to somebody. Well, if you get 2 cases, you get it for this price. You get 3, you get, so it's easier. You don't have to take your calculator out and figure it out for them. So
That's
it's
true.
nice just to pencil it in.
It's good homework assignment for all of us just to do the math in advance and find out
Mhm.
what the unit price is for each case level. It's really interesting. At one point, the 30 mils, you know, that's how much does it cost to buy a 30 mil product wholesale? Who knows? Like an Ultracell.
99.
99. So at the deepest tier discount, what does that price become per unit? 4 cases.
I can't answer that.
$50.
I was gonna say 59, but I think it's 50, yeah.
$50, yeah, not counting shipping and tax. So it's just definitely worth knowing that. And you know, Lachey is another one that is very deeply discounted for a salon or spa. You know, the whole Zilis Lachey kit. So definitely want to know the price list. It's something that's very, very important. I mean, people buy our products, whether you're selling them at you know, just, you know, with individuals, whether you're actually, you know, at an event of something like that. But you definitely want to master our price list, understand it. If you have questions, definitely let us go over that with you. But did you have anything else you want to share before I kind of finish with Harriet?
No, that's it.
Okay. So I wanted to, yes.
Addressing Debbie, I did that ahead of time when I went to get my hair done, and I brought with my information to him the pricing sheet for wholesale because of his salon. And I wished I'd have had the picture of your before and after, Debbie, with the Lachey, because he's real interested in getting that bulk pricing. So having that ahead of time was a big plus for me.
Good job, Kayla.
Yeah.
Way to go. And maybe we can get Debbie's before and after. Okay, you guys, this is just I'm reading you a little bit about Harriet Tubman as we close. Her resolve to return south and then do it again and again and again set her apart. This choice to return to the land of her bondage over and over and over is what took her from being one in brave thousands who took up their own liberty to one of dozens who once or twice returned south to help others, to one of one. The Harriet Tubman we remember nearly 200 years after her birth, from going back south 13 times, rescuing about 80 slaves, giving advice to dozens more, and eventually strengthening the resolve of multitudes. Though slavery, as she once said, was the next thing to hell, freedom did not mean happiness if it meant her family was still in bondage. I was a stranger in a strange land, and my home, after all, was down in Maryland, because my father, my mother, my brothers and sisters and friends were there. But I was free, and they should be free, Tubman would later say in her life. Her sense of duty to her family was matched by her fierce belief that God would always protect and guide her. When asked about her decisions to return south, Tubman always responded, "'Twasn't me, 'twas the Lord. I always told him, I trust you. I don't know where to go or what to do, but I expect you to lead me." And he always did. And you guys have this very, very similar faith and belief in what you do. And I just want to just say, I'm so grateful for you guys and the courage that you have shown. Maybe it's just weeks, months, but many of you guys, it's been years. And as you have shared the message of Zilis, and I'm seeing Joshua's nose right now that whether it's pets or people, you guys are literally helping people from the bondage of their physical complaints. And now on the precipice of having the promotions back, I truly believe that we can create a financial freedom as well. So thanks for all you guys do. Anything else that you want to
No,
add
just
to
a
that?
great meeting and good to see everybody. And thanks for letting me be tardy after my early meeting.
We're
So
glad to have you tardy
glad
or
to be
not.
back.
Thank you guys.
Have a
Any
great
other
week.
thoughts or questions that anyone wants
You
to
already give
share?
a shout out to Dr. Todd and Jenny about their video.
Yeah, but you can do it again.
Man, that was great.
Stephen
Woo!
Todd is never tired of hearing about his awesomeness.
Man. Hey, look at Gene Workmeister, Mr. Ham.
You're making me blush. Hey, I do have, I'm sorry, this is totally off the thing, but I got a friend request from Steve and Jenny Todd, and I didn't know if they sent it or if we were hacked.
I think
So you're asking us that, Gene?
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, has that just been recently and today?
Yeah, within the last week and a half.
Oh,
I don't
that's a
know.
good question.
Okay.
probably,
I'm going to avoid it for
yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
I got
Thank you.
a friend request.
From who? Oh, the link to Stephen Todd's video, Mary, is actually on Team Unlimited. So you can go on Facebook, check it out. Unless Steve and Jenny want to drop it in here. And
If you're on
I know how
Facebook,
high tech Jenny is.
if you're on Facebook, you're gonna
That's a
have
good
to.
one. That ain't
So-
happening.
So a couple of things. If you're on Facebook and you get friend requests from people, you got to be kind of savvy. You got to look down through there. And, if you know these people well enough, like the Todds, for example, you know what they're going to post. And there shouldn't be anything look like just standard stuff from the Todds. It's like 3 or 4 pictures. If that's the case, somebody's hacked them. All right.
Hey, Gene, if it's somebody that has big breasts, it's not us.
Oh, now Jenny Todd. That's terrible,
That's
man.
horrible.
Jenny
Stop.
Todd, you're
But
so
if
funny.
it-
We got
but-
one of those today, so.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
goodness.
You hear it all on Elevation Call.
So anyway, just be savvy about that because we are interconnected and it's just too many. There's a lot of bad players in the world. And so anyway,